Welcome back to Dice at Dusk. Tonight we'll be talking about Sojourn, a solo game by Wyvern Gaming. So Sojourn will be coming to Kickstarter May of 2018. In this game, you're going to be jumping from different events in history, trying to piece together a time fragment, or your time fragment, and then traveling back home. And you do this by traveling to those destinations. And to get into those destinations, you have to pay certain costs. The costs that you have to pay are Timestream Cards, temporal charges that you'll have on your player sheet, and then you'll also have a die roll from a percentile die and a percentage that you have to complete in order to just survive that destination. Now, no matter whether or not you survive, you can still gain the cards that you would get. So the end result of a destination would be gaining a certain amount of cards, or some of them have like special things that you might get. But for the most part, these cards are going to give you a certain number of Timestream cards. Now, the Timestream cards are just the cards that are going to be in your hand that are going to allow you to play them and give you a special ability. For example, you have bandages that can heal you. You have a temporal battery, which will raise your charges on your player sheet. The paradox card, which you can travel to a destination for no time stream drop or temporal charge cost. The loop card and the fracture card. All of these cards are going to give you just the ability to maybe move somewhere without paying a fee, or healing you and giving you things. Now, as far as healing you in the charges, that's really how you win, or well, not so much win, but that's how you lose the game. So if you ever die and lose all your health, you lose. Or if you can't travel to a destination, you're kind of just stuck in that destination forever, and you lose. You're not able to move. And then that is the end of the game. So they are the two ways to lose. But the only way to win is to gain those temporal charges, or the time fragments, and making 4 and then making it back to your player card and getting home. Now, the way that this works is you're going to be starting in the Jurassic period. And then you're going to be flipping over a destination, or a time period. And that can be any one. The times in this, and this is pretty cool, like the pictures and things in this game, would be like 9/11 is one of them, the JFK assassination, Hurricane Katrina, first flight. All of these are different things, or different times and places that you can be traveling to try to find these time fragments. So when you get to that Jurassic period, your first thing will be to flip over a card, and that is going to be the first destination you can go to. Now, you can either travel there and pay the associated costs that you have to get there, or you can pay a temporal charge and then flip over another card next to them. So you'll be doing this, and then you'll be traveling to a destination, and then you'll be ultimately trying to beat a percentage, and they give you a percentage die, and you'll be rolling them, trying to beat the percentage on the cards. Now, these are pretty balanced as far as what it costs to get there and what you get, and then how much damage you can take and how hard it is to complete that. So say it costs nothing to get there, and you might earn one time stream card, but it might be like, a 25% chance that you're going to succeed. However, it could cost you nothing to go there, and you gain 3 or 4 time stream cards. It's going to be like 90%, 80% to succeed. Now, as far as succeeding, you can fail and you're still going to get those time stream cards, but you're going to take damage. And that's where those, the bandages that you have will work. and help you out because they can build up your health. Now this game will spread across, your table, because you'll be doing this over and over and over and over again, just opening it up and hoping that you flip that time fragment card and you place it, and then you'll place a destination on top of it. So you'll have to go to that destination to get that card. Now again, if you fail that percentage die, if you fail that roll, say it's like a 90% roll and you don't achieve that, you're still going to get those Timestream cards as a reward, and you're also going to get that time fragment that you need to succeed. Now on the player cards, as you're going through these, you'll see on the player cards these 4 little green boxes, and you'll be pulling them as you get your time fragment cards. So you'll be filling in your little green cubes as you gain these cards. Now there are 8 time fragment cards in the deck, and you can play really as many as you want, as hard as you want the game to be. So you need at least 4, and you can play up to 8. So say like you wanted a really hard game, and it is very hard. The first time I played with 4, and because you're shuffling these in a whole bunch of different times, it can be very hard depending on when they come up. That's kind of that randomness of when these cards show up. So I found that like 6 cards will give you just enough to keep you going, where it doesn't seem too easy and it doesn't seem too hard, but it's pass or fail. Like you can be teetering on there and almost win or almost lose, and it's a pretty good 6 cards. Seems pretty good. So overall, this game, like I said, it can spread across your table. So there is a way that I started playing to kind of minimize the area as far as these cards, just real estate, the amount of real estate that you need. Because if you're just placing the full card on top of the other one and the other one, and it's going to spread out. However, they do have on the bottom, it's like these, just what you need to do or to pay, and the rolls that you need to do, and the Timestream cards that you'll gain. So I was starting to just play them so I can just see that. However, I don't really like that. So one of my favorite parts of this game are the pictures and the different times that you go to. And there was nothing like having a table full of just these different events all over the place that you're jumping from. And that seemed like that really made a big deal for me with this game. So I really hope, and none of this is set in stone. Things may change from now to the Kickstarter or even beyond. But I really do like the artwork, and I don't like covering it up. I think that just makes it look good and makes it really interesting, just these different things. The way the game plays is pretty smooth and pretty quick. Like the turns, you're playing by yourself, but you never really feel like you're taking turns by yourself. Like you're just kind of doing it and spending cards and doing it. Like it's almost like it's a freestyle type feel when you're playing. And I did really like that about it. The one thing that I can say that is going to really, I guess I won't say disappoint, but something like that, is the randomness. So you're going to be shuffling these cards in the deck. So one, that's your first point of randomness, is the amount of cards or where they end up in this deck. The second point of randomness is going to be this die roll. Depending on where you go and what you do, it's going to really depend on the die roll whether or not you take damage or not. And that could just wipe you out. If you just have nothing but bad die rolls, it's going to wipe you out. However, they do a pretty decent job, at least with that, to minimize that with these cards that are in your hand, these Timestream cards that you can use. As far as like bandages, and it never really felt like I was like short-handed on cards. There are destinations where you have to you have to pay your cards. So if you have, say, 2 cards in your hand and the destination you want to go to has 2 cards, then you have to spend those cards in order to go. But if you don't have those cards, which this is kind of like a weird rule, but it worked pretty well. If you don't have the cards that you need, you can still travel, but you need to spend that temporal charge to travel. So whether or not you have cards in your hand, you can still go somewhere, which was good. And it does wipe out your hand, but you just have to pick your battles, I guess. So that time fragment card might come up, but you might not want to go to that just because of the difficulty and what you gain from it. You might want to bounce around a little bit before you go to that spot. But that's it. That's Sojourn, and it's a pretty good. Whenever I play a solo game, there's really one game that always comes to mind for me, and that's Friday. Friday is a very good, very easy solo game, and there's randomness in it, but it's a pretty solid game and a really tough game. So naturally, everybody's going to compare a game to a game. It's not even really like that, but it's a solo game, so it kind of fit in the same thing for me. This played very well, and I see myself playing this a few times. It's just I love the different locations and the different times. Like seeing that first time I was playing, and I saw the 9/11 on there, and the Alamo, and all of these different things that coming up. It was really interesting, and I really like the location, that they're real. Like these events really happened, and the dates, that's when they happened, and I thought that was pretty neat. But overall, yes, I really did like this game. But make sure you tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to back it. Make sure you check out dice@dusk.com for more reviews, events, articles, and check us out on social media, and follow us on social media. But until next time, play more games.